It's Steelers week in Cincinnati. The Bengals sending this out on Twitter. Hungry for a dub. Hashtag rule the jungle. Cincy, they've got to be starving. They've dropped 10 of their last 11 to Pittsburgh. Aditi Kinkhabwala covering this AFC North rivalry tomorrow. We sent it out to her with a preview.
Watt said that he's keeping the door open to playing tomorrow against the Bengals. The Steelers' star pass rusher was limited in practice all week after suffering that groin injury in last Sunday's game. But Watt said he had enough preparation to feel confident should he be medically cleared to play on Sunday. And he promised that if he does play, he's going to play as he always has. Now, the Steelers' defense certainly missed his disruptive abilities. They had no turnovers. And when I talked to Bengals running back Joe Mixon about how much easier things could be for the Bengals if Watt doesn't play, he first said, well, we always have to prepare for someone's best. But then even Mixon admitted, someone's best isn't the same as TJ's best.
Thank you, Aditi. Well, it's safe to assume a defensive game tomorrow in Pittsburgh. The Bengals and Steelers offenses bottom half of the league in a lot of categories so far. Just 2 games, but Cincy 24th in total offense. Pittsburgh even worse. So I wonder if either of these teams will be in our new segment called What If? The 2021 season, it's just 2 weeks old at this point, well, plus TNF, so you're partially into 3 weeks old. But this is one of our favorite early exercises of the season, the What If exercise. And you think about whether or not teams are going to do certain things. You play it out. What if the Eagles' entire roster wasn't injured this season? What if the Chiefs didn't roll? What if the Chargers didn't charger? So we have a couple scenarios ourselves. Mike Robb, he's going to jump into our time machine here and take us into the future for What If.
All right, guys, I'll start this thing off. My thing is, what if the Steelers continue to struggle all season? Let's step into this time machine, okay? Go back in time a little bit. If the Steelers continue to struggle, Ben Roethlisberger is going to retire after the season, okay? And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be left in a situation where they're not sure about who's going to be their franchise quarterback moving forward, i.e. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. That's why they draft a quarterback in the first round, right? Because they don't want to be left like this whenever their franchise quarterback falls off a cliff. So I think Ben Roethlisberger, if they struggle, retires after this season. Number 2, Cleveland gets the number 3 seed because they win the division. With 13 wins, this running game, Baker Mayfield's throwing for a contract. I think they get the number 3 seed. Baltimore Ravens, they get the 5 seed as the wild card. Why? Because they have a lot of injuries. Lamar Jackson has to be Superman every single week. I think they'll still get the 12 wins, and that'll be how the AFC pans out. And number 3, guys, the Steelers draft a quarterback in the top 10 for the first time since Terry Bradshaw in 1970 went first overall. Yeah, people think about Ben Roethlisberger. He went 11th overall. No, the Pittsburgh Steelers hadn't picked a guy in the top 10 since this guy you're seeing on the screen right here. So that's a big what if the Steelers continue to struggle. Steelers, I know you don't want to hear this, but you guys got to get your stuff together. All right, I'm done, Colleen.
I think I heard you say go back in time. We're not going back in time. We're going forward in time. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Mike Robb. Look, it's not about winning and losing, but I'm about to win this segment just because of the number of teams that are going to be affected by this scenario, and that is, what if the Dolphins showed us, yes, that's not the Dolphins, I'll explain that. What if the Dolphins showed us they are who they are in week 2 and not the team from week 1? Blown out 35-0. If this continues all season long, the Eagles, we're showing them because the silver lining when you stink is that you get a good draft pick. Well, that draft pick would go to the Eagles. They would then get a top 5 pick in addition to potentially 2 other first-round picks. So maybe they at that point say, hey, we got to get ourselves a quarterback, and they move on from Jalen Hurts. We'll see. Then the Dolphins, who had all this draft capital a couple of years ago that really isn't looking like it's panning out, say, we got to do something. And so perhaps at that point, Deshaun Watson's available, and they meet the asking price, and they say, hey, we'll trade for Deshaun Watson because we got to get something down here to really start to pan out. That's a proven commodity. So then Watson comes in, and then you look around the AFC East, Josh Allen will have himself a nice little rival in Deshaun Watson. You got Mac Jones. Mike Robb's already sold on him. Zach Wilson, I think down the line, give him some time and let them surround him with some talent. I think he'll be good. The AFC East will be a phenomenal quarterback division. So think about all those teams that could be affected if the Dolphins' 35-0 loss to the Bills is proof of what's coming the rest of the season.
Good job,
The ripple effect of that is for real. All right, I have the Raiders here because this is when I thought about this segment. I was watching the Raiders game and I was thinking, like, well, what if they are legit? What if the Raiders are really good? So let's play this out here. The Raiders, let's say this week they beat Miami. Philly gets one step closer to that top 5 pick. But the Raiders, they go 3-0 to start the season for the first time since 2002. That was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Only this year, they end up getting a home playoff game in Vegas, and that house wins. Imagine how rocking that atmosphere would be in Vegas. So that's the first thing. Now, Derek Carr, he's thrown for 817 yards and 4 touchdowns through 2 weeks. Let's just say, what if he keeps pace here? What if he wins the MVP and Russell Wilson still doesn't get an MVP vote? I mean, listen, the disrespect there would be real, but if Derek Carr could make this turnaround from the point where people were calling him check down Charlie and everything else, now he is slinging the ball downfield. Okay, so then the next thing that would happen, David Carr, he becomes the most sought-after analyst at NFL Network, and then NFL Network takes it one step further, and they hire Jay Gruden just to have Gruden and Carr talking about Gruden and Carr on Total Access. It all makes perfect sense. I can see it all happening now.
Alternate universe.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, so, all right, my what if. My what if, we talked about Lamar Jackson being Superman. What if Lamar Jackson can continue to play the way he's played so far through 2 weeks of the season? I mean, guys, let's teleport into time. Let's think about this. If he continues to cross up guys like this and gets that monkey off of his back in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Jackson now wins his 2nd MVP. And not only that, he ain't got paid yet, right, guys? So we got to get him broke off.
Nope.
He also becomes the highest paid player in NFL history. He's the other $500 million man. And because of all of this, right? Because of all of this, now everybody knows that mobile quarterbacks can win Super Bowls. I'm sorry. They can win MVPs. They can win Super Bowls. They can do it all. So we give Greg Roman a head coaching job. I felt like Greg Roman is the best at designing plays to put his players in position to be successful. When everybody told him he couldn't do it, he did it. He found a way. He did it with Cap, and now he's doing it with my man right here, Lamar Jackson. And I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. I gave them the Super Bowl already. Well, number 3, obviously, they win the Super Bowl, man. The Baltimore Ravens win one with Lamar Jackson, the guy that everyone said couldn't throw from inside the pocket. So far through these 2 weeks of the season, he's shown us good throws from the pocket. And like Emrob said, he's a 3rd leading rusher in the National Football League, so he's doing it both ways, man. So I'm giving it all to Lamar Jackson in the what-if scenario.
What if it's Ravens-Raiders for the AFC Championship game?